Welcome to It Happened in Grand Prairie, Texas, as we bring you the history of our city and some of the people that have made history, some of the people that are continuing to make history even this very day. We have a very special today on our history show, and it is a wonderful history number 632, and it is composed of a wonderful, wonderful group of two students that have excelled to the degree that they are the Boys of the Year from two high schools here in Grand Prairie, Texas. We're so pleased to have them with us today, and we're delighted to have an interview with them so that you'll get to learn a little bit more about them. And we're Mr. John Warder. Welcome to the set, young man.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm going to have to get to Adrian Pina. Adrian, welcome to the set also. And it's so wonderful to have both of you. South Grand Prairie High School, Grand Prairie High School, and it is very, very exciting, the picking of the Boys of the Year, because there are 9 wonderful young men from each of those high schools, and it is tough if you're on the judging committee of either the Boys of the Year for the Prairie Rotary Club sponsors that, and your scholarship. And we also have Girls of the Year that are sponsored by the Seroptimists. They're not invited yet, and so you are first on the history for Grand Prairie of the young men that represent our city in such a marvelous way. And so, with your permission, we're going to delve into a little bit of the history. And I'm going to begin with you, Mr. John, if that is acceptable.
That's fine.
All right. We have from your principal all of the good details, probably. I don't know whether you know that all of these were in store for you, but first of all, we'd like for you to give the names of your parents.
Marshall and Nancy Warder.
All right, Marshall and Nancy Warder. Now, I know both of them very well, but I'd like for you to tell me what Mr. Marshall Warder does for a living. Who does he work for?
Well, my dad works for the city of Grand Prairie. Basically, he's an architect, and so he, right now, working for the city, he usually does surveying on different projects around Grand Prairie, like the Uptown Theater, when that was being restored, and different projects like that.
And your mom?
Right now, she's...
That's Nancy.
Yes, Nancy. She is a librarian, but she's taken a leave of absence, but she's kind of working around the house a little bit.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. All right, you have 2 wonderful parents. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 older sisters, Jessica and Catherine.
All right.
Jessica graduated from Texas Tech, and right now she's working at Corrigan, which is an interior design firm over in Dallas, and Catherine is working on her master's right now in speech pathology at Texas Tech.
And since you're a warrior from South Grand Prairie, how are both of your sisters warriors, or is it a mixed family?
Both of them are warriors.
Both of them are warriors, but your parents, I know your dad was a Gopher, so we have all of this blue and red blood going in our family, don't we?
Yes,
Isn't
ma'am.
that good?
Yeah.
And being a warrior at South Grand Prairie High School, what are the schools that you attended prior to being into South Grand Prairie High, the elementaries?
Well, for kindergarten, I went to Zavala Elementary, and then Colin Powell Elementary opened up, and so I went there through 5th grade, and then I went to Jackson Middle School.
Okay, and then on over to the main campus.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that was wonderful. That is good.
It was exciting.
And in all of the elementary and the middle school, did you have a favorite teacher or a favorite mentor person that really encouraged you and maybe your career for the future?
Well, my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Crumley, she was my all-time favorite teacher. I think right now she's a principal over at, I'm not sure which elementary school, but she was definitely just always kind and sweet to me, and definitely made a mark on my life. I don't know about as far as inspiring me on what to do, but as a job, but she definitely made a mark on my life and was a very sweet lady.
She wanted you to study, didn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that was wonderful. And then when you left Jackson Middle School and went to the main campus, what kind of an opinion did you have of the school when you went in as a freshman?
Well,
Were you welcomed readily or what?
Well, fortunately, I was involved in the marching band.
Yes?
So immediately before school even started, we had summer band program, and everybody you immediately become friends with a lot of people,
yes.
and so you get involved with the high school before it even starts, and so I guess everyone was very welcoming, like right from the start. And so
you bonded really easily then,
yes,
didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, that is really great. And I noticed that you were assistant drum major.
Mm-hmm.
Was that exciting?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. 3 years in the marching band, and then my 4th year, I was selected to be a drum major.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to, I guess, lead the band, and just got to be a role model for everybody else out there and teach.
And in the hierarchy of that, you were the vice president of the band.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That gave you 2 more things to do, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And the NHS second vice president. And what group is that?
That's the
National Honor?
National Honor Society. And basically, the second vice president, I plan social events for the group to attend.
And vice president of the senior class student council.
Yes.
Did you hold an office in that other than vice president?
I was just an attendant in the student council, but then I was the vice president.
Vice president.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Now, this loading crew caption for the band, what on earth is that?
Okay, well, the loading crew.
You didn't have to do all of the band instruments.
Well, sometimes, depending on when we went to marching games, or football games, we'd load up all the podiums and all the instruments and props. Basically, it's a group of guys, about 8 of us, and we just have a great time. And
yes.
We do what we want, but we get the job done too. But it's just basically a brotherhood.
And media technology, tell me what led you into the media.
I've always enjoyed watching television, and so I decided to take this course, and because they also our school has a broadcast that goes on every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I was interested in that, and so it's film and behind the scenes camera work.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that class, and it sounded interesting to me. So.
Who was your main instructor there?
Mr. Beals.
Mr. Beal.
Yes.
Mr. Beal is still busy, and I found him at your place at the Air Hogs the other day. Yes. Mr. Beal helped me in a tremendous way with Boys and Girls of the Month when they allowed me to do that. How about the media technology? How did that impress you for the future?
Well, I just really enjoyed the planning and the creative planning that goes along with it, and so I decided that I want to pursue that as a career someday. I don't know quite if it's going to be television or movies, but
yes, it'll be something, won't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
How about Camp Ryla?
Camp Ryla.
What is that?
Well, it stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Award,
Mm-hmm.
and last year I was selected from the Rotary Club to attend the camp, and basically it's a leadership camp, and you learn, I went there as a senior, coming in as a senior last summer, and they teach you skills to be a leader over at your school and whatever else you do that involves you being a leader. And actually, I got asked to be an assistant counselor next year.
Oh, how
for the
wonderful.
Camp Ryla. So I'm excited to get to work with the incoming seniors next year. And teach them.
And you're going to be a mentor for a lot of those, aren't you? Isn't that wonderful? What an opportunity. Okay, and I have down here a list of the hobbies and what you plan to major in and where you're going to school, but I'd like for you to tell me about it without my revealing what sources I have here.
Okay, well, I plan on going to the University of Texas in Austin.
Okay.
And plan on studying radio, television, and film. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do television or movies afterwards, but I have faith in that program because I hear it's a pretty strong program, and I'm excited about going there next year. And I also want to join the marching band too. So.
Oh, that is good. That is wonderful. And the last thing that's on this, and that hopefully I will be able to work for a certain national television guru group. And which one are you choosing at this time?
Well, right now it's between NBC or ABC.
Mm-hmm.
But that's if I can
Yes.
want to do television. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really impressed. I enjoy watching the TV shows that they put on every night. And
Yes.
So I mean, getting to work for those companies would be an awesome experience.
And just think about the experience you can have at UT
Mm-hmm.
in Austin. In this, there is no telling where they will send you out on a shoot, right?
Right.
Oh, are you excited about
I'm
this?
excited. Yes.
Yes. And you're going to live in the dorm
Mm-hmm.
per the request of your parents, or
Well, I think as a freshman you have to live in
Yeah,
the dorms.
yes.
But also my parents have told me that it's just good experience. You
Yeah.
get to meet new people.
yeah. Okay, we'll go for that. Now, I would, John, like for you to look out into your camera and talk to the boys and girls, whether they're Warriors or Gophers, how exciting it is to be a senior, to be the boy of the year, and that you want to encourage them to take your place next year in this slot.
All right. Well, being a senior is an amazing experience. It's your year, so make the best of it. Definitely be yourself and get involved in a lot of activities. That way, you've always got something going, and that way you don't. You want to like end the year like big. You don't want to fall off the face of the earth. Like so, enjoy it, get involved, and just have a great time.
And I have one of the nicest paragraphs here from Vicki Bridges, your principal. But I'm not going to read that. That's kind of private between her and the judges. And so I wanted you to know that I'm going to give you a copy of this, and you'll put this in your archives because there's some very nice things said by the principals about the people that are chosen. And I think that is wonderful today. And I'm going to get back with you toward the end of the show and ask you one or two more little questions about, but with your permission now, I'm going to go to Adrian.
All right.
All right? And Adrian, see, has had an opportunity you didn't have to know what the questions were going to be like when we did all of this good. So, Adrian Pina, it's wonderful, and congratulations to both
Thank
of you
you.
all for being selected as the Boy of the Year. That is a tremendous honor. And would you name your parent, please?
My parents are Rogelio Pena and Dora Pena.
And Dora, we met Dora at Rotary the other day, and she was a fine young lady and was going to come and be with us today, and tell her we miss her today. But I think it's wonderful that you had a mom that cared enough to come with you to Rotary to see you receive that award from the Friday Rotary Club. So now tell me a little bit about the real Adrian from the time you started to school. Was it in Grand Prairie or in another town?
Well, I was born in Dallas, and I was living in Dallas. So
You were living in Dallas, and what
For a little bit.
kindergarten and elementary schools have you attended then? Tell
Well,
us where they were.
it was the first part of the year in kindergarten. I was at Walnut Hill Elementary in Dallas.
All right.
And then we moved to Grand Prairie during the middle of the school year, and I started attending Lamar Elementary.
Lamar Elementary.
Mhm.
Oh, that was very good. That's very close by, isn't it? And Lamar Elementary, how were you impressed when you came to Grand Prairie from the big town of Dallas, and especially out at Walnut Hill? That is really uptown area of Dallas.
Well, I felt in Grand Prairie more welcome. Like, I remember just feeling at home.
Yeah.
Everybody was really nice. It was a warm feeling when I got here. It was real comfortable.
All the time that you were at Lamar, did you have a favorite teacher that was a mentor to you that encouraged you to study or let you be the pet of the class, or who would be the favorite one at all of Lamar that maybe helped you on the future that you would have?
I would say it would be Miss Zanilla, who later got married and changed her name to Miss Williams.
Yeah.
She really helped me. She really made me feel at home and took care of me and showed me around the school and encouraged me that I can do a lot of things just as a little kid.
Yes, that was wonderful. And leaving Lamar, where did you go?
I started attending Garcia Elementary when
Okay.
it was built. And I stayed there until 5th grade until I went to Arnold Middle School.
5th grade, and then you went to Arnold Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's crossing the tracks, going to Arnold Middle School, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Oh, was that an exciting experience?
I got to see a lot of new faces, meet new people, meet new teachers, and it was exciting.
Well, since you spent several years at Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
did you have a favorite teacher there?
Definitely had to say it was my 5th grade teacher, Miss Corey,
Yes.
who is now a 4th grade teacher at Seguin Elementary.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. I
that's
recently saw her too, so it was exciting to see her and update her on new events.
keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
We got to keep in touch with our favorites, haven't we?
Yes.
And then when you traveled on to Arnold Middle School,
Mm-hmm.
now that's going on where you find a mixture of at least 3 elementaries that all feed into that school. How did that grab you, changing and seeing all of these new folks?
I'd say it was definitely an exciting experience.
Yes.
You know, a little different, a little scary at first, seeing all these new
Yes.
kids in one school.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it was a lot of fun getting to know all these people before high school.
And all of the time that you were at Arnold,
Mm-hmm.
now you've developed some different classes there.
Mm-hmm.
Have you changed your mind on what maybe you would like to pursue in the future, or did you have someone that was your best athletic director, your music, or other than your essentials?
Well, I've always had an interest in business
Okay.
and financial, but
In math?
in math, I've always been pretty
Yeah.
decent at math.
Oh, that is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That was the hardest part for some of us that weren't turned in that direction. I think that's wonderful that you had the gift of even tolerating math and having it as one of your favorites.
That's where I have to thank Miss Corey.
And she was it, the favorite of all.
Mm-hmm. Well, favorite of all, I'd have to say my recent teacher that I have now in the
Okay.
last year
Yes.
at the high school, Brenda Fox.
Okay, we're gonna get back to the school now, because you went from Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
You went all the way back to Gopherland.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a change was that? Now that was a whole new group of folks, wasn't it?
Well, it was a whole lot of more phases I've been.
Did you go to the
exciting
9th grade center?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, 9th grade center. Let's face that one. Talk about the 9th grade center.
9th grade center. I'd got to admit, at first it was a little scary seeing all these
Yes.
freshmen in one school, in
Yeah.
one building, and just think about there's a whole other building next to you with more people in it.
Yes.
But it turned out fun in the end, meeting all these new people to see you're going to spend the rest of your high school career with.
Who was number 1 at the 9th grade center at Grand Prairie High School?
As my favorite teacher,
Yes.
I'd have to say my English teacher, Miss Horn.
English teacher.
Yeah.
That is good. That is good. She made you feel real special, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is good. And then when they did let all of you guys loose
Mm-hmm.
from the 9th grade center, and you went over into the big deal of the day.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? Oh,
It was a little more intimidating seeing all
Was
these
that
other
awesome?
people. It was awesome, but
yes.
I loved it. I
Yes.
really got to spend a lot of the time with the seniors because I made the varsity football team my sophomore
Yes,
year.
I've got a list. You were the senior class president,
Yes, ma'am.
and all of this coming from Arnold Middle School and off of the path that usually the boys and girls came from.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a senior class president.
Mm-hmm.
How about football? Did you get into football?
Yes, so my sophomore, I've been playing football since I was in 3rd grade, and when I got into Grand Prairie, played at the freshman center.
Yes.
And from my sophomore year to my senior year, I was on the varsity football team.
Varsity for those 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, did you have a favorite coach?
My favorite coach would have to be Coach Cates.
Coach Cates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did he recognize your abilities as a person that was really dedicated to football?
Oh, yes. He
that is
inspired
wonderful.
me a lot.
And what brought you into wrestling?
Actually, I have an older brother who did wrestling at Grand Prairie,
Was that Roger?
Roger Pena. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And he graduated in 2002, so I always looked up to him. And so he inspired me to wrestle, and that's what really got me into wrestling. After had a natural talent and ability for
Yes,
it, I enjoyed
yes.
it very much.
Do you have other brothers and sisters?
I actually have a twin brother, Adam Pena.
Adam is a twin?
Yes, ma'am. He's actually the senior class vice president.
Isn't that exciting?
Yep.
You made a mark on Grand Prairie High School.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph Stoll, our wonderful, wonderful principal there, is Mr. Scholl is really a great fellow, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes. All right, now, and you have a twin brother, but then you also have Roger. Do you have any other siblings?
I have 3 half brothers. They attend
Good.
schools in Mesquite.
That's good. That is wonderful. All right, let me see. I need to ask you, the student council.
I'm a member of the student council.
All right. And the SET, the Student Empowerment Team. That was
yes.
an exciting group, wasn't it?
A set program. Been at
What was your elementary assignment from that?
Austin Elementary.
Austin. Oh, that is great. Did you have good fun getting with the boys and girls at
Yes.
the elementary level?
I enjoy being with the kids.
I bet you helped them a lot, and you were a chosen mentor for them, weren't you? Oh, that is really great. Now, I have down here your hobbies, your community activities, and church activities. You want to talk to me about those, or you want me to? I don't want to read these things to you. I want you to tell me about them.
Well, a lot of my hobbies, it really has to do a lot with school.
Yes.
I enjoy school, student council, doing
Yeah.
after school activities. Sometimes I'd like to go and help out with my old Pee Wee football team,
Oh, good.
GPYFA, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then I like to golf too. I was a member of the golf team at Grand Prairie High School.
Oh, how wonderful. That is great. And what do you plan for the future, for college or?
I plan to attend UT San Antonio, study business, either financial management, and maybe minor in kinesiology. And I plan after 2 years to transfer to UT and maybe see.
Yeah, see, John. Yeah. But this business, you're just not leaving that math, are you? That is something else. I just think that is just really wonderful. And what steered you into cluing in on math or a business career? Did you get encouragement from one of the teachers or from your parents or maybe from a friend? What gave you that inclination?
Again, like I look up to my big brother, and he was a real estate agent, and at the time he was showing me the business and stuff, and I got really interested in the business and financial
Yes.
statements and all that. But that's what really got me into
Now, I
it.
think that's just wonderful that an older brother would be your mentor in your career for the future. I think that's the first one I've ever interviewed where the brother had that kind of sway, and that is really good, isn't it?
Yes.
And are you going to remember him when you're real successful and have one of these great big long slick cars and a good bank account, and remember the guy that pointed you in the right direction?
Yeah, he'll probably be the first one on my list right after my mother.
Oh, after Mom. Dora's first, isn't she? That's good. All right, let me see if there's anything else that I need to ask you. I'm going to get back with you in a few minutes, but I've got to get back to John here because there's some more things that he and I need to talk about before we close out this show. John, of all of the people that have meant a lot to you, what is the favorite of all of the female people that you've been involved with that they've had an influence on your life? And I'd like for you to talk about your mom.
Okay. Well, my mom makes my lunch every morning.
Isn't that a blessing?
Yes, it is, and she's a great lady. She's always she's always there for you, like there for me and like my sisters and my dad. And
Yes.
she's whenever I need back when I didn't have a car, like she'd always be like one of the ones to like drive me somewhere, and like I can just really tell that it's like she loves me because all the great things that she does for me, and she helps me with like school assignments, essays for college, and just she's a great mentor, and definitely a blessing to have her in my life.
Yes, and the fact that she is a classy, wonderful librarian really does, that's like having your own library, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that is had you ever thought of that? Well, we're going to have to give her the title of Librarian Mother of the Year or something like that, because any librarian that works real hard doing that and makes your lunch too and then drives you as a chauffeur, I think you have the best of all worlds, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that is wonderful. Now I'd like for you to tell me a little bit about the influence your dad has had on your life.
All right. Well, my dad, Well, for a while he had an influence on for me on Texas Tech football, but I guess that changed.
But then you moved him out, didn't you?
Yeah, now I'm going to plan on going to UT, like we've already discussed. But my dad's a very caring guy, and you know, when you call him, he always makes sure that he like answers the phone for you, and you know, he's always there for you. He always comes to my you know, band performances, and back when I was younger, football games, and he always is the guy with the video camera. And even though like I didn't really want him to like film me in these events, you know, he'd still do it. But you know, afterwards, I'd be glad that he filmed it. And so, I mean, he basically documents my entire life.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really appreciative of my dad, and you know, he's definitely had a big impact in my life.
And you had a wonderful grandparents also. I know part of your grandparent heritage because Warder, Smith and Warder name is located all over Grand Prairie, Texas. Any building that you go into, including the Ruthie Jackson Center, everything has those documents in it, and they even have a room named for them and all of this good stuff. And I just think it's wonderful that you have a great heritage like that, but I'm surprised that you kicked the Traceys and didn't go to the Red Raiders. Yes, I know that was a hard blow, but if he understands all of that and passes you on that, I think you have made the grade. You've really done a great thing for the family, because you've extended the family past the tradition into something new and very exciting. Are you excited about going to Austin?
Most definitely.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to get back over here and find out a little bit more about Adrian, too. Adrian, tell me just a little bit about your mom. Would you like to say a thank you to your mom or whatever? Tell us something about Dora.
Oh, definitely. I've really got to thank my mom. I do really appreciate her a lot. She's a single mother and with 3 boys. And
yes.
So she constantly has to feed us, and
yes.
love her home cooking.
Oh.
And she's always there for us at every single school event.
Well, did you notice his mother didn't build his lunch, but she gave him money to go and buy lunch. Isn't that good? That's compensation, isn't it?
Plenty of compensation.
That is really good. And I know that your father did not have the influence on you that your mom has, but we're appreciative of him, and thank you for mentioning his name in our documentary, because that's a salute too. But would you like to look out into your camera and thank Mom?
Mom, I really do got to thank you. You know, you're always there for me, and I do really appreciate you and love you very much.
And since you had a special brother that helped you in a mighty way, would you like to thank Roger?
Oh yes, like I may not tell Roger this a lot, but you know, he does mean a lot to me because he inspires me and influences me a lot in everyday life. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be the person I am today.
That is good. That is good. Now, of all of the people that have influenced you overall, all that you've mentioned today, would you like to tell us the supreme person that you think you have more confidence in than any other person that you're dealing with?
That person would have to be Brenda Fox. She is she was my set teacher last year, and this year she happens to be the class sponsor and student council sponsor, and she just does a lot for Grand Prairie High School and the seniors and the students there. And you know, things she does for the school, you know, really inspires me to do things better for other people, and makes me want to be a good leader.
And I want to thank y'all very much and congratulate y'all for being the Boys of the Year, because you're really special to us.
Thank you.
And I want you to know that they'll have to do really well to get better ones next year. And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do, and that we document it correctly. And thank you for watching our history show number 632.